Across media, there's people of all shapes and sizes, abilities, and even disabilities. Disabilities carry a negative connotation in most media, but it's not often the case in anime. To narrow down the scope of my topic, anime has some really good disabled characters. Anime is a medium notorious for its creativity and ingenious characters with some of the most emotional and relatable content. Anything can be interpolated into an anime, from prosthetic wizards to egg allergies. All things are possible with anime. However, no anime is quite as cool with displaying their disabled characters as the anime Naruto. Naruto is an anime created by Masashi Kishimoto, running from 2007 to 2017 with 500 episodes. The show is about ninjas who live in a secret village who carry out all sorts of missions, from catching cats to battling world-ending monsters. Within the show, there are many disabled characters to explore, but the most notoriously disabled character is the main character. Naruto Uzumaki, the blonde boy with a demon fox tail in him, seems to have ADHD. This concept stems from how he is dubbed as the hyperactive ninja in episode 14, and a list of other ADHD-compliant nicknames like Knucklehead or Unpredictable. To clarify, Fredrickson et al., in the scholarly article Childhood and Persistent ADHD Symptoms Associated with Educational Failure and Long-Term Occupational Disability in Adult ADHD, defines ADHD as a disability. Severity in ADHD symptoms and a high load of child hyperactive impulsive symptoms in childhood were associated with dropout from school and fewer years of attained education, including an increased risk of unfavorable educational outcomes related to these symptoms in childhood and adolescence. Persistence of more inattentive symptoms in adulthood was associated with greater occupational impairment and additional adult comorbidity. You know what I said. Was a major predictor of long-term work disability. ADHD is a mental disability which affects the attention of an individual, making it harder for someone to concentrate on tasks. The symptoms are evident in Naruto when he almost drops out of class for failing to pay attention. People with ADHD often need support from others to get things done and function as members of society, which is why it was so impactful for Naruto to be accepted by Iruka and later to join Team 7. Being mentored in a specific manner, like being shown rather than told, also made a difference in how Naruto advanced as a ninja. As someone with ADHD, I can identify with Naruto's struggles. It was hard to pay attention in class, always feeling like I should run away rather than sit and listen, until I got help. Now I'm doing much better, but it was still a long-fought journey to work with my ADHD. Moving on, there are other disabled characters shown throughout Naruto. Madara Uchiha and the bulk of the clan are subjected to blindness or amputation, or both at a startling rate. Sticking with their main affliction of blindness, it appears as a genetic disease brought on by their Sharingan, a magical eye with many powerful abilities at a great cost to their vision. While there are multiple notable examples of blind Uchiha, none are as incredible as Madara. In one scene, Madara is shown fighting all seven-tailed beasts while completely blind. He has no eyes, at all, and yet somehow he's capable of fending off the most powerful creatures in the show. How does he pull this off, you may ask? An ability known simply as sensing, in which a ninja feels the chakra in nature and understands the environment. This sounds like magic ninja stuff, but it actually holds water in our reality. In real life, blind people can be self-sufficient and even somewhat independent thanks to a learned ability known as echolocation. Lulu Miller in the podcast How to Become Batman details echolocation.
He clicks with his tongue as a way of understanding where he is in space. This is basically what bats do. Echolocation, as the scientists call it. It's like sonar. From the way those clicks bounce off of things in the environment, Daniel gets a sort of sonic representation of what's around him.
So here, I can sense trees poking up.
Now, Daniel just happened to intuitively invent this when he was a toddler. No one taught him or trained him. He just made it up. And since he's been doing it his whole life, he's now so good at it that he can tell all sorts of things about what's in front of him. If there's a sudden drop-off in front of him, or a wall, if the vegetation is dense or sparse.
So here's a bench.
Yep.
Garbage bins.
Ding, ding, ding.
Miller interviewed Daniel Kish, who is blind and uses echolocation to live a mostly normal life, even being able to ride his bike. While living life blind has its risks, like biking into a pole, Kish argues that blind people should be given the opportunity to live free lives by using one of his experiences as an anecdote.
So what are a few tears, huh? A few scratches? He has this line he always says.
Running into a pole is a drag, but never being allowed to run into a pole is a disaster.
He worries that when you prevent a kid from, say, running into a pole, what you end up preventing them from is the kind of experience that allow for, and this gets me back to that crazy sounding clave he made at the beginning of the show, actual sight.
On another note, since most ninja fall into a military-type career, many of them have PTSD, another mental health disability which can interfere with someone's daily life. Serene, in the scholarly article Physical and Mental Comorbidity, Disability, and you know what I mean, stress disorder in a large community sample defines PTSD as a disability. PTSD was found to have unique impacts on several measures of short and long-term disability, overall well-being, and attempts. PTSD is known for impacting traumatized people and is especially common in war veterans. Naruto sensei Kakashi Hatake is shown in the show reliving traumatic events, such as flashbacks to when he served in the Third Shinobi World War. This gives him a great deal of anxiety and nervous mentality, which leads him into near-death situations, or actual death if you consider his temporary haunt with Sakumo during the Pain arc. Although Kakashi is a tragic character affected by the loss of his loved ones, he does work to better himself and heal. Over the course of the show, Kakashi bonds with his peers, students, and ex-villains to find contentment, eventually mending himself enough to become ninja president, aka Hokage. I hold no doubt that he still has PTSD, but he seems happier in the end. Last but not least is the most beloved disabled character in all of Naruto, Might Guy. Might Guy is a ninja who focuses on taijutsu, a physically taxing Japanese martial arts. He is shown to be incredibly strong, fast, hip, and cool. He is clearly proud of his physique, and works hard to be one of the most powerful ninja from his village. This all changed after the Fourth Shinobi World War. Might Guy's right leg suffered irreparable damage, relegating him to a wheelchair henceforth. Although you might think his fall from physical perfection would put a dampener on his mental health, he is later shown to be quite okay with his disability. Alcessor et al. In the reading Towards a Disability Media Studies describes how being wheelchair-bound is only disabling in the context of the social model. Needing a wheelchair, for example, only becomes a disability given the absence of ramps and elevators, or given the attitudes, beliefs, and power structure encountered in a discriminatory or ableist society. Although he cannot walk the traditional way, this doesn't stop him from hand-walking, going on vacation, and fighting from his wheelchair. He has no regrets about the situation and remains highly positive, no matter what. Seeing him remain cheerful despite his situation is inspiring and shows the inner strength of his character. This topic is important as it exposes people to the unique lives of disabled people in a positive light. Not all disabilities are crippling, but instead can be managed and even push people through better. The medium of anime is especially useful in portraying these possibilities, since millions of people around the world watch and enjoy these animated characters. Overall, there is so much adoration for Naruto characters because of how they are experienced as heartfelt people who live harsh lives and portray their losses in powerful ways, inspiring hope across generations, peoples, and to the disabled groups. The end.